Things that I'll be looking for will be not just the kind of the symbiotic match of the food and the wine, but an explanation as to why the teams think that this wine does pair so well with the dish.
I'll be judging the contestants tonight on how much thought they've put into this process and how much they could work with what they had without really knowing some of the things in front of them. And it's going to be interesting to see who can pull through and who can't.
The first dish that we were presented with tonight was escargot with mushrooms, onions, and a hazelnut garlic crust. The chef presented us with French regional cuisine. So all the wines that we selected tonight were French wines as well. We decided that the French had done their homework and they knew how to pair their wines with their food.
I have a problem with a lot of the traditional matches. I think that a lot of them are just habits. If you serve them blind to 100 different people, the majority may not even like some of these matches.
The first wine that we have tonight is the Baron de Rothschild Reserve Spécial Bordeaux Blanc 2005.
One of the main factors of why we chose this item was the fact that the white Bordeaux exemplified two things: mineral characteristic and the good acidity. The night of the food and wine pairing was interesting because the food that we had tried was done 3 hours earlier. So our memory had to recall a dish and the specific nuances that we had 3 hours ago with a wine that we weren't physically pairing with the food.
So in front of you now you have a braised lamb with potato gratin and spicy lentils. When we went to go select our wine today, we knew we wanted to do a Cru Beaujolais, but because it was a 2002, we weren't sure it was going to have the youthful fruitiness that we were looking for, but we were pleasantly surprised when we opened it that it did in fact still have some liveliness, some fruitiness. We went in with the strategy saying, okay, we want to talk about this, 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 and this, and you're just like kind of crossing your fingers a little bit going, please, I hope you liked it.
This evening, we've got a Pacific halibut steamed in banana leaves with a little soy, sesame, and black bean sauce. Bring out a little hint of garlic. Chef has also paired some fresh blood oranges to bring out a citrus element. And then the final touch to add complexity, a little char-grilled asparagus.
So tonight we're pouring Pfeffingen 04 Spätlese Riesling. Pfeffingen is from the Pfalz region of Germany, so we're talking a little bit south and east of the Mosel. We thought maybe the fruit character in this would be a little bit more stone fruity, not quite as citrusy. Might work well with some of the major flavors in the dish. And we love the acid structure. I actually picked the highest alcohol content so I'd have the driest Spätlese I could find.
You want to match your weights. You don't want to have a wine that's going to push the food around, and if the food and wine clash, a lot of times the food's going to win if it's, so we tried very hard to have foods and or wines that went with food that would enhance the entire experience.
All right, what chef has put in front of you is a soy and mustard glazed ribeye, sesame crusted, pan-seared, a little side of bok choy and mirepoix with a little touch of plum sauce.
In this case, we went with a 100% Tempranillo from Útil Requena in Spain. We really like this because the fruit comes through, it doesn't dry out too much, it's not super heavy, but it's luscious.
I came out of the challenge thinking that we did pretty well. I did second guess myself a little bit after the fact, but in relation to the other teams, I feel like we really rocked it.
It's really good. It is like the acidity of this wine, it goes right through, sails through, and it works well with the plum sauce, actually.
And this does show how important sauces are. That, you know, a lot of folks want to match the type of meat.
Right, right.
Right, but it's actually the sauce that controls, that's the dominant flavor.
James and I got takeout, and what we decided to do is to give you an overview of the very popular takeout items in America. What you have in front of you right now is a lemongrass shrimp salad, Thai style. It's got nice citrus flavors. It's got a little bit of heat from the spice. The wine that we chose is a dry Gewürztraminer. In general, Gewürztraminer is a classic pairing for Asian food, stuff with a little spice. It really works well with a lot of sort of interesting dishes.
As takeout, this is a great example of takeout. and then having to match it. I think, you know, Asian food with Gewürztraminer is a pretty pedestrian kind of pairing.
I'm sort of on the fence with this one. Part of me wants to really like the combination, and the other part wants to say this is a disaster.
I know we bored them to death with what we picked. This is actually probably the first time in the entire competition I felt like I was on the chopping block.
The wine was logical, you know, the dry Gewürztraminer with the Thai, the firm acidity from the Gewürztraminer really went well with the Thai.
We had a really interesting diversity of wine and food tonight, and let's talk about the different teams. Who's in the lead?
Overall, I thought the quality of wines that Ross and Alan chose were the best. Their pairings were much more on the mark, and they had some good justifications, so they're my leading team.
I think that that James and Taylor did a really good job, but for me as well, I've got to believe that Ross and Alan edged them out.
I agree, but for me, Taylor and James, I think that their conventional choices in wine was effective. I think it was a smart direction to take in this whole concept of, you know, staying with what you know or what you like. It was very well executed with them. So I think that James and Taylor had the strongest presentation.